Hi guys, I'm Sona. Welcome to my apartment tour, part 2. Thank you so much to everyone who's been waiting for this video. Over the past 3 weeks, I've been decorating my apartment in my own style. Now let me show you everything I did. First, I bought 2 more white cabinets, a drawer cabinet and a shoe cabinet. Both were custom made to fit the exact size I wanted. Next are some things I ordered from Shopee, including some custom printed wall art. I also bought a foldable ladder. Now I can finally climb up whenever I need to. I have 3 blank white walls that I hadn't decorated yet. The wall isn't completely flat, so it's a bit tricky to decorate. I'm starting with some LED strip lights. I had a strip light before, but it stopped working, so I bought a new one. It came with everything needed for installation: a power adapter, remote, nails, screws, and adhesive tape. This LED strip is over 10 meters long, and I can change the colors whenever I want using either the remote or the phone app. I moved my desk a little farther away from the wall so it'd be easier to install the LED strip. I also pulled the mattress out a bit to make room for the ladder. I've decorated this room once before, and it looked really nice, so I decided to recreate that style. I'll plug the power adapter in here, then connect it to the controller. I really like the soft blue lighting. I won't need the nails or screws. Too many holes would only damage the wall. Instead, I'm using clear, double-sided tape. It sticks really well, and you can barely see it. I'll start from the bottom, placing a piece of tape about every 30 centimeters. Peeling off the backing is pretty easy. I'll attach the controller to the wall as well, then neatly wrap up the extra cable. I'm running the LED strip along this wall to make it stand out a little more. I have to stand on the table to reach the top. I can even touch the ceiling from here. This wall is about 2.7 meters tall, so I'll need to use the ladder on this side. I once shaped an LED strip into a star in my old room, but I think clean, straight lines suit my apartment much better now. The ceiling lights came with the apartment. They have a warm, white glow that makes the space feel cozy. They also look beautiful on camera, but honestly, they make the room feel pretty warm, especially during the summer. Since I work from home full-time, I wanted to add some cool-toned LED lighting to make the space feel fresher. My favorite colors are white, light blue, and soft pink. I even keep these LED lights on during the day. Once I close the curtains, I completely forget about the outside world. Now I'm running the lights along the baseboard. I ended up with quite a bit of extra cable near the mirror, so I'll hide it behind the mirror for now. I also bought a white LED strip for the kitchen. I'm starting near the power outlet because it's easier to connect everything there. The kitchen already has warm lighting, so I wanted to add some white light to balance it out and make the whole apartment feel brighter. This strip is thicker and heavier than the blue one. It was getting so hot that I had to turn the lights off while working. The clear, double-sided tape works really well. It holds everything securely. It's easy to remove later, and it doesn't damage the wall very much. Decorating while filming definitely takes more time. Just installing the lights on these 2 walls took the entire afternoon. Thankfully, I'm just tall enough to reach the ceiling, although stretching up for so long does get a little tiring. And for this corner, I even had to stand on top of the refrigerator. I was honestly a little nervous standing up there. I had to be careful not to fall because if I did, getting to the hospital wouldn't be easy. None of this was staged, by the way. I simply filmed everything exactly as it happened. The final shape actually looks a bit like a square. Next, it's time to set up this corner. I'm sliding the new cabinet into place. It has small feet underneath, so moving it around is surprisingly easy. I had it custom made to fit this exact corner, and once it's in place, the fit is absolutely perfect. The cabinet has 4 smooth drawers, which gives me so much more storage. I used to keep almost everything inside my desk cabinet. My yoga mat fits perfectly in this little corner too. I also ordered 4 pieces of artwork by W. Lopp. I've always loved his art. Each one was printed in a different style, and this one has a glossy finish with a rounded frame. This video actually took longer than expected because a few shops sent me the wrong items. I had to return everything and place new orders, which doubled the waiting time. From now on, I'll do my best to upload regularly on Friday or Saturday evenings. Not only for you guys, but also because I need to make money too. If you'd like to support me, don't forget to subscribe. I found this decorative branch while browsing Shopee, and I thought it would look perfect on this cabinet. The branches are really flexible, so I can shape them however I like. It's funny how these little decor pieces don't seem expensive when you buy them one at a time, but after a while, they really add up. Before buying anything, I always picture the finished space in my head. I imagine what each corner needs and how everything will come together. I also took a lot of inspiration from the way I decorated my previous room. After making a few small adjustments, I think this corner finally looks just right. I also picked up a few artificial pampas grass stems to decorate it even more. I also bought a few decorative vases. Out of these three, the little pumpkin-shaped vase is definitely my favorite. Which one do you like the most? Now it's time to arrange the pampas grass. I really love this style because it has such a simple, natural, and artistic feel. I'm not sure which stems match each vase yet, so I'll just keep trying different combinations until they look right. This pumpkin-shaped vase has a pretty narrow opening, and just as I expected, the softer pampas grass looks much better in it. I used to leave all of my shoes outside the cabinet, and it always looked a little cluttered. Now everything can go neatly inside the new shoe cabinet. There was a door stopper installed here, but I didn't find it very useful, so I removed it. That lets me push the cabinet farther into the corner. I'll keep the stopper just in case I ever need it again. Luckily, the door still opens without much trouble. It's a little close, but I can still get in and out comfortably. I already had a smaller shoe cabinet before, but it was completely full. Now I have much more storage, although this probably means I'll end up buying even more shoes. This little space beside the cabinet is just the right size for my vacuum cleaner. I also bought another framed print to hide the electrical panel. It's another piece by W.Lop, and I absolutely love it. There's something so beautiful and touching about this artwork. The double layer frame makes it really easy to open and close. I'll hang it using this wall hook. It has nails to fasten it to the wall, so it's very sturdy. First, I mark the position, then hammer the pin into the wall. My hammer is from a mini toolkit, so it's pretty small. It actually took quite a while before the pin was finally deep enough. I just need to gently attach this picture frame to the hanging hook. Now I'm decorating the top of the shoe cabinet with a decorative tray, flowers, and a bottle of essential oil. At night, I turn on this little accent light to brighten up the corner. I also bought another set of 5 glossy wall art panels. This is one of my favorite artworks by W.Lop. I had the exact same one in my previous apartment, but I couldn't take it with me because it was permanently attached to the wall. These wall panels are much more affordable than frame prints. Unfortunately, the shop sent me the wrong design for one of them, so I had to order a replacement from another store. For this picture, I'm using black double-sided foam tape. I place a small piece on each corner. and 6 pieces are enough to hold each panel securely. My dining table is a bit messy right now, so I'm using it as my workspace. I've already cleaned all 5 panels before putting them together. Before attaching them to the wall, I always apply a small piece of wallpaper first. I learned this lesson from my previous apartment. If you stick tape directly onto painted walls, it can peel the paint off when you remove it. The wallpaper protects the wall much better. Even if I take everything down later, it usually only leaves a little adhesive behind, which is much easier to deal with. It also sticks really well, so I don't have to worry about anything falling off. Now I'm measuring and cutting each piece of wallpaper to match the size of every panel. Once everything is ready, I stick the tape onto the wallpaper instead of directly onto the wall. Before pressing each panel down, I take a little time to line everything up carefully. The wallpaper I'm using is very thin, so even if I need to peel it off and reposition it, it still sticks really well. I leave about a 5mm gap between each panel to keep everything nicely aligned. After making a few final adjustments, the artwork comes together in a diamond shape. Next, I bought this colorful jellyfish light. It's surprisingly small, but it still cost me almost $15. Decorative LED accessories for a workspace are usually pretty expensive. This little jellyfish light is really easy to put together. All I have to do is attach the little tentacles. It supports full RGB lighting, so let's watch it cycle through all the different colors. Here's another reed diffuser. I actually filmed this before I finished decorating the 4-drawer cabinet. I also bought a few different scents, but I don't like using too many at once. Since my apartment isn't very big, 2 or 3 fragrances are more than enough. I'll keep the rest and use them once these bottles run out. The bottle is a little tricky to open, but I managed to do it without too much trouble. I also bought a set of 6 botanical prints to decorate the empty wall next to my dining table. I chose green plant artwork because it makes the apartment feel a little fresher. I'll use the same wallpaper method as before. First, I measure everything so the arrangement is centered. Then I stagger the prints slightly to create a more balanced layout. Once I'm happy with the placement, I peel off the backing and start attaching them. This print came from another shop after I had to reorder it. They had already applied clear tape to the back, but the center was missing a piece, so I added one myself. Before hanging the print, I peel off the protective film. The surface looks slightly matte at first, but underneath it's glossy and smooth. This one was definitely harder to peel than the previous one. I'll place this artwork over here. That brings my collection to 5 W-Lop prints in total. I'm not really a fan of W-Lop himself, but I genuinely love his artwork. I'm not attaching my LED name sign directly to the wall either. Just like before, I place a small piece of adhesive wallpaper underneath first. I cut it slightly larger than the sign, trim it to match the shape, then add a little clear tape to make sure everything stays in place. I decided to mount my name sign behind this area because it looks much more balanced there. It's time to hang the clock. This is technically my living room, although I almost never have any guests over. Most of the time, I'm decorating the apartment just so I can enjoy looking at it myself. There's an outlet down here for the clock's LED light. After that, I neatly tuck the cable away. I used to have these shelves above my desk in my old apartment. I saved the most challenging part for last, with all my tools ready to go. I put on gloves because driving screws in by hand can be pretty rough on my hands. When I was younger, I did a lot of heavy lifting, so my hands became quite calloused. They look much better now though. I'm measuring everything carefully to keep the screws nice and straight. First, I find the center point. Then I make a few small pilot holes so it'll be easier to drive the screws in. Since I don't have a drill, I'll have to do everything by hand. Now I'm marking a few more points in a straight line. My little hammer isn't much help, against these heavy-duty brackets. These are the same triangle LED panels I used in my previous apartment. I still really like them. I bought a set of 10 for about $27, so I'm glad they're still working. Otherwise, I'd have to buy another set. The panels attach with hook and loop fasteners, so they're easy to remove. I like arranging 8 of them in this pattern. This fastener has 2 sides, one rough and one soft. I had to buy a new set because when I removed the lights from my old apartment, one side stayed stuck to the wall. Just like before, I'm not attaching the panels directly to the wall. I always add a small piece of adhesive wallpaper underneath to protect the paint. For this part, I'm just lining everything up by eye. Before mounting them permanently, I plug them in to make sure they're all working. Each panel needs a small connector between it and the next one. I didn't place one of the wallpaper pieces quite right, so I need to add another. Once everything is installed, I trim away the extra wallpaper with a utility knife. Then I install another small shelf underneath. I also had some custom metal prints made using my own images. Unfortunately, the colors came out much darker than I expected. They looked a little better after I peeled off the protective film, but honestly, only one of them turned out well. The one with the girl sitting on the purple car. Instead of throwing the others away, I came up with a way to reuse them. By covering them with wallpaper, I can turn them into completely new decor pieces. My own images probably work better for music videos. Or maybe for a home decorated in a cooler, edgier style. Another problem was that the shop printed my images vertically on the hexagon panels, but I wanted to display them horizontally. Since my images are rectangular, shrinking them to fit the hexagon shape didn't look very good either. So I'm covering each panel with a layer of A4 paper first. Then I'll wrap it with wallpaper. This part honestly made me feel like I was back in elementary school, making little paper crafts. I'm using white tape to hold the A4 paper in place. The edges of the metal panels are pretty sharp, so the paper also helps make them safer to handle. If you like this kind of hexagon wall decor, you could even make it using cardboard instead. Now it's time to wrap everything with wallpaper. I have several wallpaper patterns, so I'm making 3 pink panels and 3 white ones. Press everything down until it's completely smooth. Then fold all the edges neatly toward the back. Now you can't even tell what's underneath. One white panel with a mixed pattern, 1 white floral panel, 1 white textured panel, 2 pink floral panels, 1 pink textured panel. I also bought some raised cherry blossom decorations to attach to each hexagon. They're made of hard plastic, and are usually sold as decorations for car interiors. The darker flowers will go on the white panels. The lighter flowers will go on the pink ones, or I can mix them for a little more contrast. Once they're finished, I add a piece of clear tape to the back, and just like before, I'm not sticking anything directly onto the wall. I place a small square of adhesive wallpaper underneath each piece first. A 10 by 10 centimeter square is all I need. This wall seems like the perfect place for the 6 hexagons. I'm just deciding which direction the flowers should face. I think facing left looks best. I raise them just a little higher. Now it's time for the second white panel. Then another pink one. Alternating the white and pink pieces makes everything feel more balanced. The last one goes down here. Finally, I'll decorate the 2 wall shelves. I'm arranging everything almost exactly the way I did in my previous apartment, because I still think that setup looks beautiful. I've used these headphones so much that the ear cushions are starting to fall apart, but they still work perfectly, so there's no reason to buy a new pair. All I need to do is replace the ear pads. These replacement pads are the same size as the originals, about 9 centimeters across, so they're really easy to swap out. Now they look almost brand new again. My iPad case has gotten pretty worn out too, so I decided to replace it as well. I bought the same pink color because I still really like it. This new version is almost identical to my old one, with just a few small improvements. On my old case, the Apple Pencil holder was on the left. Because of that, I often forgot to charge it. This new version fixes that problem, so I don't have to worry about the battery anymore. I also added 2 small plants on top of my PC case, and I'll place this vase here. I bought 2 real plants. To make my apartment feel a little more alive, a monstera and a fiddle leaf fig. The monstera will go beside the sofa. The fiddle leaf fig is a little too tall, so I'll keep it out on the balcony. I'll leave it here for now. I don't use this table and chair very often. I'm adding some decorative pebbles to the pot. Then giving it a little water. I'll add some pebbles to the fiddle leaf fig as well. I moved it out onto the balcony and even put the ladder there. This is the background you usually see in my cooking videos. I didn't show this area in my apartment cleaning vlog, so today I wanted to give you a closer look. Since I don't have a vanity, I keep all of my makeup here. The top shelf is where I keep all my little souvenirs. Every single one of them was bought with my own money. This painting is one that I drew myself. I made it when I was first learning Adobe Illustrator. I took everything off the shelves to dust them. Then, I put everything back where it belonged. I like keeping everything organized. It makes cleaning so much easier later. This painting is starting to look a little old. I might replace it with a different one someday. But for now, I'll leave it here. I folded these paper cranes when I was 14. It was during my summer vacation. I've always loved handmade crafts. After moving a few things to my workspace, I rearranged everything a little. This candle has a lovely lotus scent. The cabinet above is where I keep my handbags and larger floral arrangements. Since it's fully enclosed, I don't have to worry about dust. I have a lot of flowers around my apartment. None of them were gifts though. I bought every single one with my own money because I genuinely love them. And these are my 25 glitter roses. They represent my 25th birthday. And this is my bathroom. I always like keeping it clean and dry. These are the 2 toothpastes I use. For most of the things I use every day, I like having 2 different options. It keeps things from feeling too repetitive. This is the cup I use to hold my orthodontic trays. A water flosser is indispensable for anyone wearing braces. I also keep 2 different bars of soap here. I don't keep many things in my bathroom. This is my shower area. I hang my bath towel behind the door. Since I wash it regularly, I'm happy to leave it there. I also bought a few decorative trays, but I don't have a use for them just yet. And here's another LED light I picked up. I felt like the wall around my workspace was still missing a little more light. Since I love listening to music, I chose one shaped like a pair of headphones. At first, I wanted those rounded hexagon LED panels, but they were incredibly expensive, around $230 for just 9 panels. So I decided to skip them. Maybe I'll buy them someday. I'll hang it right here. It looks a little messy up close, but once you step back, you can hardly notice it. Now I'll plug it in. It looks much better with the lights off. I'm making the bed again because I want to take a few photos afterward. And finally, a new keyboard, along with a new set of keycaps. This keyboard cost a little over $54. I bought it because I really liked the design. Everything was packed really well. The keyboard is made of aluminum, so it feels nice and solid. The typing sound is soft and satisfying. Let me unbox it and show you. There's a USB cable, a keycap puller, and 2 spare switches in case I ever need them. Before changing anything, I'll take a photo of the original layout. That way, I can swap the keycaps without putting anything in the wrong place. The keycaps that I bought has a pearly white finish. It lets the backlighting shine through beautifully. It looks especially nice with white, soft pink, or light blue lighting. I'll swap the keycaps really quickly. Replacing keycaps is actually pretty fun. Putting them back on is just as easy. Looking at the keyboard lighting feels so relaxing. There are lots of lighting modes to choose from. I'll show them to you once I've finished installing all the keycaps. Without the photo, it would be hard to remember where every key goes. I'll put the extra keycaps away for now. My old keyboard still works perfectly. I just wanted something different after using it for such a long time. Maybe I'll switch back someday when I get tired of this one. My old keyboard is smaller and lighter though. Now let me show you everything I've decorated. This is the view from my front door. The apartment is lit only by the LED lights. It feels so peaceful, fresh, and relaxing. I could stay at home all day without ever getting bored. I don't really feel the need to go out or socialize. Maybe it's because I've lived alone for so long. I guess it's just become a habit. There are so many different home decor styles. Modern, minimalist, classic, luxurious, and more. But I've always preferred creating a home that reflects my own style. I'm really happy with what I've built so far, and I'll keep improving it little by little. I hope you'll have a place of your own that feels just as special to you. And this is what it looks like with the main lights on. Everything feels bright, and it's perfect for filming. But when I'm just spending time at home, I still prefer using only the LED lights. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. In my next vlog, I'll show you a typical day of working from home in this cozy apartment. I'm really grateful for all your support. I'll keep working hard to create more beautiful videos and hopefully inspire even more people along the way. Finally, here I am testing the new keyboard. I'm trying to decide which lighting mode I like best. I think I'll stick with either soft pink or light blue. This video has gotten pretty long. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.